Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Tele Summit for today program. Today we have with us today's speaker, Jitin Mehta sir and Pankaj Deshpande. So I welcome both of you once again. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. And I would request to Pankaj bhai, please take for the session. Maybe he is joining within some time.
Okay, actually it was decided that Jiten bhai will take the first session, first part.
Yeah, correct. But I think there is some issue. So in the meantime, if you can continue,
Okay,
because
no
we have
problem.
started the session.
Okay, so should I continue for the whole 1 hour or till the time he arrives?
अमित सर प्लीज आप गाइड कीजिए कैसे करना है.
पंकज भाई आप कंटिन्यू कीजिए, आपका खत्म होने के टाइम फिर टुवर्ड्स एंड विल आस्क जितिन भाई टू जॉइन इन.
Okay, so no problem. I will be continuing for 1 hour allotted to me. No problem. Yeah. So is my screen visible? PowerPoint screen?
Yes.
Yes.
It is visible right now?
Yeah, it is visible. It is visible.
Yes. Okay. So thank you very much, Shweta madam and Amit sir. And thank you very much, WRC coordinators, for inviting me to this particular webinar, online webinar as a speaker. I am very much happy that yesterday there was a very good attendance. Today also the attendance is good. And yesterday's topic was GST setup in Tally ERP9. Today we are going to discuss GST returns in Tally ERP9. We are going to discuss this aspect because we now know what is to be done as far as GST setup is concerned in Tally ERP9. As far as GST returns is considered, we can very conveniently file GST returns from Tally ERP9. There are certain points which need your kind attention when you are doing this process. Filing GST returns from Tally ERP9 is very easy, but at the same time, you may commit blunders. I am using this word. You may commit blunders by depending on Tally blindly. My job is to make you aware about the risk of filing GST returns from Tally ERP9. There are some accident prone spots which you must take care of. And if you are able to understand what are these accident prone spots, it will be a very easy process for you to file GST returns. I'm speaking in English only, but to some extent, if I speak in Hindi, please allow me, because there are certain points which I cannot explain to you in English, or it will not be so effective. So I hope it is okay with all of us, because all of us from WRC, that is Maharashtra, Gujarat and Goa, so everybody understands Hindi. Had it been SIRC, it would be difficult for me. So is it okay, Amit sir?
Go ahead.
Yes. At the time of discussing GST returns in Tally ERP9, now my screen is not freeze, please remember. I am not using the screen. I am just talking. At the time of filing GST returns from Tally ERP9, there are certain points. I have prepared a checklist of 17 points which must be taken care of at the time of filing returns. Before that, what we will do, we will understand the concept of GST returns from Tally ERP9, that is understanding the theme. What is the theme? Now let us go to Tally screen to understand this theme. This is Tally screen. I have created a demo company for you. If you want to file GST returns from Tally ERP9, there is a menu. Let us go to that menu, display, then statutory reports. Inside statutory reports, there are two reports. There is a menu for GST, and inside GST there are basically two menus, two reports. One is GSTR1 and other is GSTR3B. We have to file GSTR1 and 3B. 2 is just for viewing purpose. We need not file it, as all of us know. So these two reports, two menus are important for us, GSTR1 and GSTR3B. Let us go to GSTR3B. I am setting the period as December 19 because data is created for this period. Now you may observe first what is this report, what is this menu. In Tally's language, it is called as triangulation report. Tally people call it as triangulation report. We will be understanding the theme first. I know many of you might be doing this activity on a regular basis, on a monthly basis, and you are here just to understand certain special points only because you know by and large how to file GST returns from Tally ERP 9. I am going to discuss all the aspects of return filing to the extent possible. You may get this information on internet, you may get this information in Tally help file, you may get this information on YouTube also. Yes.
Pankaj sir,
Yes.
sir, sorry to interrupt you. There is one request that has come that yesterday you had shown some 7 points,
Yes.
7 places for setting up Tally GST rates. So
Okay,
if you
okay.
can highlight on that today also, that is a request that has come.
Okay, no problem. So before I
People
forget,
have
let me
missed
show
out.
it
So
first to
before you
you.
start,
Yes.
before you start,
Yes, sir,
I
because
think
I may
so
forget in
that
the flow. Okay, okay, no
yeah,
problem. I am showing
yeah.
it
Thank you.
immediately now.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. So as per the request of the participants, I am once again showing you the 7 places, 7 points for GST rates where you can set the GST rates. Yesterday I discussed this, but again on your request, I am very quickly showing a small demo of it to you. Company level is the first point where you can set the GST rate. Once again, I am showing it to you. This is gateway of Tally screen. I am pressing F11, that is configure, statutory and taxation. Second question, yes. Now this is the place where you can set GST rate. If you set it to yes, Tally will allow you to set. Why we should set here? If you are dealing in single product with single rate only, you need not set it each and every time for each ledger, for each stock item, for each stock group. No, once you set here at company level, it is okay and fine. You need not set it anywhere. This is point number one where you can set. Second point, income or expense ledger. Whenever we create a inward supply voucher, that is purchase or expense, and outward supply voucher, that is incomes, we can set GST rate in income or expense ledger. Once again, I am showing it to you. Accounts info, ledger and alter. If you go to sales, here we can set the GST rate. This is the place. In each and every ledger, there is a place for setting GST rate. Third point, ledger group. Every ledger is placed under a certain particular group. We can set the GST rate in ledger group also. For example, indirect expenses is a ledger group. Sales account is a ledger group. I am going to accounts info, then groups, and then alter sales account. I am going to this sales accounts. If I go to sales account, I am having one option here, set alter GST rate, GST details. I am setting it to yes. I can set the GST rate here also. If there are 4, 5, 6 ledgers, sales ledgers placed under these sales accounts, all the ledgers will be set for this particular rate, the rate which I am setting here. Then GST ledger. This is one more option given by Tally. Accounts info, ledger, alter. CGST is the GST ledger. You can set the rate here also. Percentage of calculation is given by Tally. You can set it. But yesterday also I told you the same thing. I am today also telling you the same thing. Do not get tempted to type the rate here because it will create a lot of troubles for you later on. So this is not the place actually for setting the GST rate. Tally has given this place, but as far as my opinion is concerned, this is not the right place. Then stock item, you can set the GST rate in stock items also. Inventory info, then stock item, then alter. You can open any type of the stock item. Here you will have to set it to applicable and set alter GST details. I am setting it to yes. Here again it is the place. Once again, I am going to this PowerPoint screen and stock group. Stock group is the sixth point where you can set GST rates. Once again, inventory info, then stock group, then alter, and these are the groups. For example, mobile is a group. We can set GST rate here also. What is the advantage of setting GST rate in stock group? Yesterday I told you, but once again I am telling you quickly. if you have 1000 stock items with same rate, similar rate, that is 18%, you need not set the GST details for all the 1000 stock items individually. It will take a lot of time. So instead of doing that, you can set rate for stock group. This rate will be applicable to all the stock items automatically. And if there are 5 stock items with different rate, let us assume 12%, 995 stock items are having 18% rate, and 5 stock items with same nature but still having different rate, may it be 12%, may it be 28%. So in that case, what you can do, you can set the rate for group. It will be applicable to 995 stock items, and for stock 5 stock items, you can go to stock item alteration screen and set the rate as 12% or 28%, as the case may be. In that case, Tally will pick the rate if available in stock item. So for 5 stock items, the rate is available as 28%. It will be picked by Tally at the time of creation of sales or purchase voucher. And if the rate is not available in stock item, automatically Tally will check the rate whether it is available in stock group. Now the rate is available, so 18% rate will be picked up by Tally. And
Pankaj bhai,
lastly, there is, yes.
there is also request for that shoes wala example, value based 500
ये कल का ही लेक्चर अपना रिपीट टेलीकास्ट करना पड़ेगा, ऐसा लग रहा मुझे.
थोड़ा सा कवर कर लीजिए प्लीज, रिक्वेस्ट है.
ओके ओके, नो प्रॉब्लम, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. ठीक है, चलिए. मैं ये बहुत फास्ट ले रहा हूँ कि ठीक है ये?
ठीक
हेलो,
ठीक है, स्पीड इज फाइन.
ठीक है ना? ठीक है, हाँ,
स्पीड इज
ओके
फाइन.
नो प्रॉब्लम. ठीक है, चलिए. हाँ, सो लास्ट पॉइंट इज वाउचर. यू कैन सेट the rate, GST rate at voucher level also, where it is useful and where it is applicable. Yesterday I told you the example of printing and stationery and repairs and maintenance. These are the two heads where you can find all types of GST rates: 5%, 12%, 18%, and 28%. There may be some more examples, but currently these are the two examples where you can get all types of rates. In that case, I have seen that people create different ledgers for different GST rates. You need not create different GST ledgers. What you can do, you can go to accounting vouchers and let us take printing and stationery here. Printing and stationery. Now at the time of entering printing and stationery, Tally should ask you about the rate. Now Tally is not asking me about rate. So what I need to do, I am pressing F12. After pressing F12, there is an option here, allow modification of tax details for GST. I am setting it to yes. If I set it to yes, now Tally will start asking me about GST details. By default, this option is off and it should be off only, but in some cases you can set it to yes. Just a minute. Just a minute. This is the company made for GST return filing. Let me change the company. Let me go to yesterday's company. Just a minute. Now this is the screen where Tally is asking me about the rate. I can set the GST rate here also. By default, the rate is set as 18%. I can change it to 12% here also. So this is the last level where you can set the GST rate, that is the voucher level. So Tally will consider the rate set in voucher level and Tally will ignore all other rates. Please remember. So these are the 7 points. Now, once again, there is one request that shoe example. Yesterday, I had given you a shoe example where GST is charged on slabs. I have opened the same company again. So now it will be easy for me and you also because the data is created here. I'm going to inventory info. Now look at this particular process very carefully. Inventory info, then stock item, then alter, and action shoe six number. So this is the shoe. What I am doing here, I am going to this question set alter GST details. I am setting it to yes. And here there is an option. This option is available in stock item. So by default, we set it to value. Now, when it is a product like shoe, we can go to shoe or garment. We can go to item rate on item rate. And in case of item rate, consider additional expenses and income, we can ignore this. Here there is a space for setting the slabs that is up to 500. This is the rate. Above 5 up to 500 the rate will be 5%, and up to above 500 for any value the rate will be 12%. If cess is applicable, you can set the cess here also or here. So automatically the rate of shoes, GST rate of shoes will be charged accordingly. I am going to F9, sorry, F8, sales account, customer 1. Now I'm selecting the stock item, sales, action shoe, quantity 1, rate is 500. Now please check the rate, CGST has calculated. Now let it be very simple. Let the quantity be 2. Now the rate is 5% because CGST is rupees 25, SGST is also rupees 25. Now if I change the rate here, if I make it 1500, now look at the GST calculation. The GST calculation is changed accordingly. Now it is 12%. So Amit ji, I hope both the queries are clear now and we can move ahead with today's topic. Is it so?
Yes, please
Yes.
go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. So today's topic is GST return filing. So we have to understand the theme. Basically, we have to understand the theme first. What is understanding theme? I was telling you that you can get this information anywhere. Anywhere means you may get it on YouTube, you may get it on internet, you may get it in Tally help file also. You may learn it in some Tally classes also. But if I teach you the same thing again, there is no point in speaking in front of 450 chartered accountants from Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Goa. You are spending your valuable time, you have spent money for it, and it is my job to give you something which is not available easily. So this is something which I have learned in last 3 years of GST tenure. So basically, let us understand the theme before we go to actual GST return. Now again, I am changing the company because that company was different. This is a demo data created for you. Now I am going to display, then statutory reports, then GST. There are two reports here, GSTR1 and GSTR3B. So these are the two reports. Let us go to GSTR3B first. I am selecting the month of December because data is set for December month. This is the report. Tally calls it as triangulation report. What is this triangulation report? Everything is available in this report. Now our job is to understand this report. Let me share a story with you that is in Hindi, as I told you earlier. जब मैं बीकॉम में था तब की एक बात मैं आपको बताता हूँ. बीकॉम में था मैं, फर्स्ट ईयर में हमारे एक प्रोफेसर थे, प्रोफेसर अरुण येलगुंदे, उनके यहाँ पे हमने ट्यूशन लगाया था. और ये ट्यूशन वहां पे जितने भी मेरे कॉलेज के लड़के थे, मैं उनको जानता नहीं था. मैं बीकॉम फर्स्ट ईयर में था. सब लोगों ने कहा कि येलगुंदे सर के ट्यूशन लगाते हैं सब लोग, तो मैंने बोला चलो मैं भी लगाता हूँ ट्यूशन. तो उनके क्लासेस में अकाउंट्स का क्लास मैंने लगाया था, और उनके क्लासेस में अकाउंट्स वो पढ़ाते थे, लेकिन अकाउंट्स पढ़ाने का पोर्शन जो था उनका बहुत ही कम हुआ करता था, और इधर उधर की बातें बहुत किया करते थे, और स्टूडेंट्स को वही बातों में बहुत मजा आता था, बहुत एंजॉय करते थे स्टूडेंट्स. तो एक दिन क्या हुआ कि उनका एक डायलॉग था, स्टैंडर्ड डायलॉग. तो एक दिन एक लड़का लेट आया एक दिन क्लास में. मैं आपको बहुत शॉर्ट में स्टोरी सुनाता हूँ ये, क्योंकि मुझे मालूम है बहुत सारी चीजें में बात करनी है. एक दिन एक लड़का थोड़ा सा लेट आया. तो लेट आया तो उसको हमारे सर ने पूछा कि लेट क्यों हो गए. तो उसने बोला सर ऐसा वैसा, मेरी साइकिल पंक्चर हो गई ये वो. तो उसको 1 घंटे की ट्यूशन में उन्होंने 45 मिनट तक टाइम मैनेजमेंट के ऊपर पूरा ज्ञान दिया. 45 मिनट तक टाइम मैनेजमेंट, 1 घंटे का क्लास और 45 मिनट तक टाइम मैनेजमेंट, पूरा उसको ज्ञान दिया कि टाइम कैसे मैनेज करना चाहिए, ऐसा करना चाहिए, मैं कभी लेट नहीं होता, तुम क्यों लेट होते, वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह. तो हमारे क्लास में एक लड़का था, उसने बोला सर वो अपना प्रॉब्लम कल का बाकी है, बैंक रिकंसिलिएशन हम कर रहे थे, बोला क्या. तो ये हमारे एलगुंदे सर बड़े गुस्सा हो गए, बोले तुम क्या बैंक रिकंसिलिएशन की बात करते हो सर, वो अकाउंट्स अपना बाकी है, कोर्स बाकी है. अरे अकाउंट्स तो तुमको, उनका एक स्टैंडर्ड डायलॉग था, वही डायलॉग मैं आपको भी सुनाता हूँ कि अकाउंट्स तो तुमको 2 रुपए में कोई भी सिखा देगा, तुम मुझसे टाइम मैनेजमेंट सीखो. फिर उनका एक डायलॉग ऐसा था कि अकाउंट्स तो तुमको 2 रुपए में कोई भी सिखा देगा, तुम मुझसे हेल्थ मैनेजमेंट सीखो. तो वही डायलॉग मुझे अभी याद आ रहा है कि टैली तो साहब आपको 2 रुपए में कोई भी सिखा देगा, आप मुझसे कंसेप्ट सीखो टैली के. So this was on lighter side. So I am going to teach you certain concepts which are not available very easily, which I have developed since last 3 years. So let us understand this triangulation report. What is it? Total number of vouchers. First of all, check the period. My period is, I am taking December 19 as my period. So total number of vouchers for the period is 169. This 169 number, please remember, this is the statistics report which is otherwise available in Tally. You might have seen this statistics report. Where it is available, let me show you very quickly. I am on gateway of Tally. Then this is the display menu, display statement of accounts and statistics. This is the report where you get total number of vouchers recorded in any Tally company. I am setting the period as December because we are considering December period. So these are the 169 vouchers in all recorded in this period. Once again, I am going to display, then statement of accounts, then display, then statutory reports, then GST, then 3B. Inside 3B, once again, I am changing the period. These are the same 169 vouchers, please remember. So whatever transaction you are recording in Tally, it will be displayed and included here. Now inside this report, there are certain columns. Type of voucher is the same thing which is available in statistics. Total. Then these 3 columns, included, excluded and uncertain, these 3 columns have been newly added by Tally in this report. It is otherwise not available in statistics report. So total number of vouchers are 169. Out of 169, 51 vouchers are included in GSTR 3B. This is the meaning. So credit note, there are total 5 credit notes and all the 5 credit notes are included. Journal, there are 13 vouchers and out of 13, only 3 vouchers are included in GSTR 3B report. We are talking about GSTR 3B, and 10 vouchers are excluded. So what is about these 10 vouchers? If I want to check, I can go and enter here. These are the vouchers. So are these vouchers really relevant with GSTR 3B? You can check. By and large, it is correct. So 5 vouchers payment and 5 vouchers are excluded. Please remember, what do you mean by excluded? Excluded means these are the vouchers which are excluded by.
पंकज भाई,
हाँ
पंकज सर थोड़ा लाउडर चाहिए. The request is for little louder.
माइक बहुत पास में है मेरे, माइक एकदम पास में है. माइक आवाज कम आ रही क्या मेरी? हेलो,
करेंगे तो बेटर रहेगा.
क्या?
If you can speak little louder. If you can speak little louder.
Okay. No problem. हाँ. So payment AV, these are the 5 vouchers, and 5 vouchers are excluded by tally at the time of preparation of report. At the time of preparation of report, these vouchers are excluded. Now payment and 61 vouchers, only 2 vouchers are included and 59 vouchers are excluded, please remember. So this is the statistics in general. You can check the statistics report. I'm pressing escape now. Now included in return, there are 51 vouchers which are included in the return, and 114 vouchers are excluded, not really relevant for return. And this is the most important point for us. 4 is the incomplete oblique mismatch in information to be resolved. Now we have to resolve these 4 errors. Unless and until this error is 0 figure, you cannot or you should not file GST return from tally. So this is compulsion. You must make it 0. So how we can make it 0? Just by pressing enter, we will be able to know what are these 4 errors. I'm pressing enter. Now I'm getting the details of these 4 errors. Now please read this information. Serial number, first of all, exception resolutions. This is the title of the screen. List of vouchers with incomplete oblique mismatch in information. This is the period. Now serial number, date, particulars, voucher type, voucher number, amount, number of exceptions, type of mismatch, oblique incomplete information. So this is the reason. I am pressing enter here. Now check what is the reason. Tally has given you the reason. What is the reason? Mismatch due to tax amount modified in voucher. Why this is the mismatch? I am pressing enter. Tally is showing you the reason. Tax amount as per calculation. Tax amount as per calculation is rupees 6782.40 and tax amount as per transaction is 6782, means difference is 0.40. 40 पैसे का इसमें डिफरेंस है. हमारे अकाउंटेंट ने 40 पैसे एंट्री करते समय छोड़ दिए थे और टैली का कहना है कि ये 40 पैसे आने चाहिए कैलकुलेशन में. नाउ व्हाट यू शुड डू, देयर आर 2 ऑप्शंस. Either you can recompute. If you press recompute, the voucher will be recomputed and corrected by tally only, or you can accept as is. जैसा यहाँ पे दिख रहा है वैसे ही आप accept कर सकते हैं इसको. तो अगर ये वैसे ही accept हो गया तो tally will not apply its mind. tally अपना दिमाग नहीं लगाएगा. So what we should do? 40 पैसे का फर्क है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. Let us accept as is. I am accepting as is. So one error is removed. Now you may check that there are 3 errors. यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं there are 3 errors. Earlier there were 4 errors. Now I am once again pressing enter here. Now I am going to second voucher, mismatch due to, again this is the same error, 80 paise and 80 paise. It is round off to 38 rupees. So 20 paise, let us accept as is, no problem. We are accepting the voucher. One by one we can go on correcting the errors if there are any. Now you may check what is this error. Error is described here, mismatch due to tax amount modified in voucher. Now you can check. Tax amount as per calculation, it is rupees 9,000 and tax amount as per transaction is rupees 6,000. Now we can open the voucher first. I am pressing Control Enter here. You may check here. The key to open the voucher is Control Enter. Double underline means Control and Enter key. This is the voucher. Now apparently this voucher seems to be okay, no problem. 1 lakh is the basic amount, 6,000 plus 6,000 is the GST charge. Now what we should do, we should go to this particular option, that is we should go to the stock item. I am pressing Control Enter on the stock item. Here GST applicable is undefined, point number 1. Point number 2, by default the rate is considered by tally as 18%. So 18% GST should have been calculated here. This 18% rate might be set in sales ledger. So this is a product with 18% rate. Now what is happening? The GST is charged at rupees at 12%, that is 6% and 6%. So apparently there is something erroneous. So now we can find out the true rate of GST. I know it is 18%, so I am making it 9,000 and 9,000. I am pressing enter, enter, enter and accept. Now I have accepted. Let us check whether this error gets solved. Yes, the error is solved now. Now there is only one error. I am clicking on this error. Now you may check what is the special thing about this voucher. Many a times accountant commit this type of mistake. You may check this mistake. SGST and SGST. SGST is charged twice. It should have been SGST and CGST. So Tally knows that this is a mistake, and this type of mistake is plucked by Tally very easily. Now what we should do? You may check here also. Here you can set it to CGST. It should be 9,000 rupees. It should be again 9,000 rupees. Now the error is solved. Voucher is also updated at the same time. When we solve this error, the voucher also gets updated. Now our accounting is also correct. This is the process which can be followed for filing of GST returns. Incomplete oblique mismatch is 0. Please remember. Now, are we ready with filing of GST return? What do you think? Amit bhai, you are the only person with whom I can talk. You can open chat for me. You can open chat for me. Yes, yes. So, so are we ready with filing of the return, GST return, if error is 0? What do you think? You can speak as a participant on behalf of participants, so that it will be an interactive session. Participants will also enjoy.
Sir, basically there is one more query that has come. They're asking for a two-way reconciliation if it is possible. And the second query that is there is, if the accountant has already accepted the errors, then how the auditor will find out which errors have been accepted as
yes. That is what I am discussing today. Actually, two-way reconciliation requires certain actual data, live data. Actually, I tried to download my own data, two-way data, but GST website was not working. It could not be downloaded, so I was not able to. I am not able to show it to you today. But in next lecture, on next my session on 18th, probably I will be able to show it to you, all the participants. Don't worry. And that is not a very big deal. It can be learned very easily. The big deal, what is I am going to talk is that 17-point checklist. Now, I mean to say that even if the error number is 0, errors are 0, still we are not ready with GST return filing. And I was telling to you earlier that if you rely on Tally blindly, you may commit a blunder, absolutely blunder. Please remember. Now let us move to PowerPoint screen, and I will show you what are these 17 points which must be checked. The first point is check bank reconciliation. This is a 17-point checklist. I have Excel format for this checklist. If you wish, I can send the Excel format to WRC, and WRC may circulate it to all the participants for their convenience. And this is the Excel format which I am using in my office. This has minimized my efforts. This particular checklist has minimized my efforts to a great extent in checking GST returns of my office. First of all, check bank reconciliation, whether your bank reconciliation is tallied, because before we file GST return, we must check bank reconciliation. You can do bank reconciliation from Tally also. There is a separate session on bank reconciliation which we are going to conduct. Bank reconciliation can be done in two ways. One is called as semi-automatic way, and second is called as fully automatic way. So let me quickly show you where you can check the bank reconciliation. Here, this is the gateway of Tally screen, banking, bank reconciliation. These are the banks. I can open any of the bank and I can check the bank reconciliation for a particular period. For example, I am talking about December. So this is the bank reconciliation. You can check whether the statement, whether the bank balance shown in this particular report is matching with your bank statement. So this is simple. All of you might be knowing it, no problem. Second important thing is to check debtors balance. Whenever you are filing GST return, you need to check debtor balance from Tally. As we are talking about Tally only, so this can be applicable in other softwares also. I am going to balance sheet, current assets, and sundry debtors. Sundry debtors logically should have debit balances only. Here you may check that there is a balance, credit balance. Ajmera Tires has given us rupees 50,000. Why this 50,000 is received? Is it an advance? Should we pay GST on advance also? Or is it the case of bill not prepared? So if it is the case of bill not prepared, you can immediately prepare the bill. But before you file GST returns, you must check, are there any credit balances in debtors? Similarly, there is an option to check credit balance, debit balances of creditors also. Once again, I know these points may sound silly to you, some of you, but these are very important points, and gradually you will understand why it is important. Once again, I'm going to balance sheet, current liabilities, sundry creditors, again showing debit balances. So is it the case of advance paid and bill not recorded? If bill is not recorded, we may miss the ITC, we may miss the input tax credit, and we may end up paying more tax. Here the amounts are very small, but actually it may sometimes be very high. So there should not be any case of debit balance in credit ledger normally. Sometimes it may actually a case of advance. If it is a case of advance, then that is not an issue, but inadvertently you should not miss the point. Means you might have paid, you might have received the services or goods, and bill is not recorded in your accounting. This is quite possible, and this is a very dangerous situation. Fourth point, errors in GSTR 3B and error in GSTR 1. You should check errors in GSTR 3B as well as GSTR 1 also at the time of filing any of the returns. Please remember, we have to file GSTR 1 first, and then we have to file GSTR 3B. Sometimes people file GSTR 3B first and then they file GSTR 1. I have already shown you where we can check the GSTR 1. I'm going to display then statutory reports, then GST. GSTR 3B for December, I'm going to December, is not showing any type of error. We cannot be rest assured. Please remember, even if we are filing GSTR 3B, we should not be relaxed because GSTR 3B is not showing any type of error. We can go to GSTR 1 and check the same period. Please remember, there might be errors. There are 3 errors. Please remember, we have to solve these errors also. 3 errors. What are these 3 errors? Party GST number is not input. Please remember, there is no party GST number, so we have to input party GST number. Please remember. This was point number 4. Then point number 5, vouchers excluded by user. Now this was the question asked by some of the participants, how we would know that what are the vouchers excluded. Actually, it was not a question about excluded, it was accepted as is. So vouchers excluded by user, this is one more point, very important point. I told you that unless and until you complete this 17-point checklist process, you may commit a blunder while filing GST returns. I am showing you where we can get this particular option, vouchers excluded by user. I am going to tally. Once again, I am opening display, then statutory reports, then GST, then GSTR 3B. Now I am changing the period. 169 is the total number of vouchers. 169 is the total number of vouchers, and not relevant for returns is 114. Not relevant for returns is 114. I am opening this not relevant for returns 114. I am getting 2 vouchers excluded by users. I am opening these 2 vouchers. Are these vouchers really not relevant for GSTR 3B? We have to check, and if it is relevant, we have to include this voucher. Let me show you how we can do it. These are some of the sales voucher. Vijay Constructions, to exclude this voucher, first of all, I will have to commit one error in this particular voucher. SGST. Now I am creating an error in this voucher. This is the error. Now this is the voucher. Many a times it may happen that your assistant in the office, instead of solving the error, he may exclude the voucher, sometimes deliberately, sometimes inadvertently. Here is the button. Now this is the error. This is the error. This has to be solved. But instead of solving the error, he may exclude the voucher. Do you want to exclude the voucher? User may say yes. And if this voucher is excluded, please remember it will not be reflected in your GSTR 3B. Now there is no error. There is no error in your GSTR 3B. Error is 0, and this outward supplies figure, taxable value as well as tax amount, is absolutely wrong, because one very important voucher is excluded. Now where we can check this voucher? I am going to this 115 figure. Earlier you might be remembering it was 114. Now I am opening it. Excluded by user was earlier 2. Now it is 3. I am opening this. This is the voucher Vijay Construction. 1,18,000 rupees is the total value of this voucher. I know that this should have been included because it is a sales voucher and it is definitely related with GSTR 3B. Now what to do? I am selecting this voucher, and on right hand side this is the button include vouchers. I am clicking here. Do you want to include the selected vouchers? I am saying yes. Now the voucher is included. Again, excluded by users is 2. These 2 vouchers are not relevant with GST. I know. So these can be ignored, no problem. Now there is an error. We have to solve the error. Vijay Construction, we have to solve the error. CGST is not considered. I am considering CGST. I am typing the amount, correct amount. Now voucher is accepted. Now again there are no errors, and we have checked this aspect also. Vouchers excluded by user, we have checked this aspect also. Now this aspect is over. Let us go to next point. Sales in profit and loss account and GSTR 3B. We have to check sales in profit and loss account and GSTR 3B also, because ultimately GSTR 3B return should match with your books of accounts, and profit and loss account is a report which is generated, which is the base of your books of accounts. GSTR 3B report is generated by Tally, and profit and loss account is a report generated by you after recording the transaction. So even if the GSTR 3B is showing 0 error, still it may happen that the profit and loss account is showing some figure for sales and GSTR 3B is showing some another figure for sales. Now let us check. This is 13,58,991. This is the figure of outward supplies. This is the total. You may look at this point, 13,58,991. This is the figure. Now let us go to profit and loss account. I am going to profit and loss account. I am changing the period. The relevant period for me is December. Now you may take a total of sales account, direct income and indirect incomes. Let us take the total. You may also do the same thing with me. 10,27,056 plus 331,935 plus 79,060. What is the figure? 14,38,051. 14,38,051 रुपए यहाँ पे फिगर दिख रहा है. Let us go to GSTR 3B once again. Display. Statutory reports. GSTR 3B. December to December. It is 13,58,000. Control N. Now you may check 14,38,000 and 13,58,000. Around 80,000 rupees is the difference. Now we have to identify what is the reason behind this difference. There should not be any difference. Means our actual sales, our actual outward supply is 14,38,000 and we are filing a GSTR 3B for this much amount. That our GSTR 3B figure is wrong, our tax figure is wrong. Now how to identify this? We have to check each and every voucher. How to check each and every voucher? You have to open 2 Tally softwares at the same time and you can press Alt tab to check what is the reason behind this difference. Let me tell you what is the common reason behind this difference. Whenever you intervene with the Tally settings, जब भी आप टैली सेटिंग्स के साथ छेड़खानी करते हैं, टैली के कानून तोड़ के अगर वाउचर एंट्री करेंगे, तो टैली के कानून तोड़ के आपने जो वाउचर एंट्री किया है वो प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस में तो डेफिनेटली आ जाएगी, लेकिन ये जीएसटीआर 3B या जीएसटीआर 1 में वो एंट्री रिफ्लेक्ट नहीं होगी. So as far as possible, try to obey tally rules, tally settings, because unless and until you obey tally rules, you cannot file GSTR 3B or GSTR 1 correctly. So we have to check sales figure in profit and loss account and sales figure in GSTR 3B. This was point number 6. Now point number 7, what is? Just like sales, we have to check purchase figure also, purchase in profit and loss account and purchase in 3B. Let us go to once again tally. I am, for your convenience, I am opening second tally, so that will be easy for me to show you the demo.
पंकज सर,
Yes.
आप बाद में बोलना मुझे. जितेन बोल रहा हूँ. हाँ, ओके.
हाँ, ठीक है, आप आ गए ना?
हाँ,
ठीक है, ठीक, ओके. So this is second tally. Select company. I am opening the same company once again. Now it is easy for me. I am going to profit and loss account. Inside profit and loss account, I am changing the period. First of all, I will have to change the period here. Then profit and loss account, December to December. Now this is the purchase accounts, and this ITC, eligible ITC, and all other ITC. Here you will get the taxable value. You may check this column, taxable value 1,71,287. This is the taxable value. It should match with your profit and loss account. I am going to profit and loss account. It is 169,577. It is not matching with purchases. So there might be a case of certain indirect expenses. Indirect expenses has gone to right hand side, that is income side. Now you will have to consider GST out to inward supply value from two places, that is purchase accounts as well as indirect expenses. So taking total of relevant transactions and matching it with the figure displayed in taxable value in GSTR 3B. This is our job. We have to check it and we have to match it so that our ITC claimed in GSTR 3B is correct. So we are talking about matching our books, matching our GSTR 3B with books of accounts. This was point number 7. So 10 more points to go. 17 पॉइंट्स मैं आपको बताने वाला हूं. ये 17 की तरफ अगर ध्यान आप नहीं देंगे तो आपके लिए खतरा है, ये आप समझ लो. 17 या तो खतरा, दो में से एक को चुनना आपको. Similarly, CGST balance in balance sheet and 3B we have to check. CGST balance in balance sheet and 3B. How to check it? This is 3B report. Once again, I am setting the period again to December. Now I am going to second tally. I am going to balance sheet. Inside balance sheet, there is a menu called as current liability. Current liability, inside current liability, there are duties and taxes. There is GST. I am opening this GST and I am pressing F12 now. Before F12, let me change the period here also. December and December. Now I am pressing F12. After pressing F12, there is an option show opening balances. I am setting it to yes. Show transactions, I am setting it to yes. Net transactions only, it should be no. Closing balance, it should be yes. Enter, 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 and accept. Now these are the three ledgers for me. I can hide other ledgers by pressing Alt R. I am pressing Alt R, Alt R, Alt R, and Alt R. These are the three ledgers which are important for me. First point, I have to check CGST input as well as output. CGST output is displayed as credit figure, CGST input is displayed as debit figure. So we have to check this figure in GSTR 3B report of tally, where we can get it. I am going to this outward supply, then outward taxable supplies. Now look at the integrated tax amount, 17,879. This is the integrated tax amount for the period of December, 17,879. I am pressing Alt Tab on keyboard. 17,879. This is the value of IGST. You may check IGST. It is matching and it is 100% correct. We did not worry about it. Now let us check CGST figure. CGST figure is 1,33,848. Let us check CGST here. It is 1,13,369. So there is some gadbad. There is some problem. Please remember, we have to check and solve the problem. Now in this case, I have a formula for checking this particular problem. You are filing return for a particular month. Here in this case, vouchers are very less, around 30 vouchers are there, not more than 30 vouchers. But when, if you are filing a GST return with 1,000 vouchers, 1,000 sales vouchers, 1,000 purchase vouchers, it will be difficult for you to check why there is a difference, what is the reason for difference. So there is a formula. You can reduce your size by 50%. For example, there is a problem here, 1,13,000. What we need to do, we can just change our return period to 1st December to 15th December. Now the 50% problem is minimized. Now let us go to this outward supply, enter, and now check. And in profit and loss account also, what we need to do in balance sheet also, 1st December to 15th December. I am reducing the size. 92,708 is the CGST figure. Now let us go to this. It is matching. So what does it mean? For regarding first 15 days of your period, first date to 15th day, there is absolutely no problem. Everything is matching. CGST is matching. So the problem is in next 15 days, that is 16th December to 31st December. Now what we can do, we can further divide it by 50%, that is 16th December to 23rd December. Let us check. If there is no problem in this period, once again you can go to 24th December to 31st December. If you find something fishy there, you can again cut it down to 50%, that is 24th December to 27th December, and so on. You can do it. You can reduce the size of the problem and you can arrive at exact pain point. So this is how we can check and solve this problem. CGST we have to check. Similarly, we have to check SGST. Similarly, we have to check IGST also. So CGST, SGST and IGST, all these three ledger balances, ledger transactions must be verified with GSTR 3B. So here I am getting CGST, IGST and SGST. We have to check liability side, that is credit side, as well as debit side, that is ITC side. This is the ITC, this is the liability. Let us go to the 11th point. This is not relevant with Tally, but it is my personal suggestion that you should ask your staff to check all purchase invoices physically, because many a times we assume that purchases recorded are correct. We must ask our staff to check all the vouchers physically and match it with Tally, because it is quite possible that your purchase voucher is showing some figure and Tally voucher, Tally entry is showing some other figure. It is quite possible. Point number one. Point number two, otherwise also we must have proper physical data of all the purchase invoices. To claim ITC, it is needed, all of us know. In case of GST audit, it is extremely needed, and if it is not available with us, GST people may disallow ITC. Please remember, so every voucher having ITC is as good as cash for us. So we should ask our staff on a monthly basis to do this exercise and have a separate set of physical invoices, purchase invoices separate, and it should be placed under lock and key. It is my personal suggestion. It is not relevant with Tally, but still it is relevant. That's why I decided to include it. Reconcile intercompany accounts. Both the company accounts are maintained in Tally only. Many a times we forget to reconcile intercompany accounts. There may be sister concern. One sister concern is selling some product to another sister concern. Sales is recorded in company 1 and purchase is not recorded in company 2. It is quite possible. So this should not be the case in our case. So we must reconcile intercompany accounts and we must ask our staff to get this point done specifically. 13th point is check ineligible ITC. If you go to Tally, here eligible ITC is displayed. Now eligible ITC, what is the figure of eligible ITC in this case? The figure of eligible ITC is displayed here. It is 16,759.46. It is displayed here. Now, are we allowed to take credit of this ITC? It is quite possible that you have spent on something which is not allowed, which is specifically disallowed for ITC, and it should not be taken. Please remember. But many a times it happens that accountants while recording the transactions, they do not bother. They just record the transaction according to the purchase invoice, and the ITC is claimed inadvertently, and later on we may land up in serious trouble because ITC should not have been claimed and it is claimed. Just like when we purchase a car, ITC is absolutely not allowed, and such type of ITC should be ignored from this particular GSTR 3B. Now check accepted as is. This was the question asked by some of the participants, how to check, how we can check accepted as is. Let us go to Tally. Let me show you where we can check it. Once again, I am setting the period to full month. Earlier it was 15 days only. On right hand side, you will find something interesting and something relevant. Here is the button, view accepted as is. Here is the button. I am clicking on this button. You will check the vouchers that were accepted as is. Now the potential reason is also displayed by Tally. Potential reason is also displayed by Tally. Wrong calculation, wrong calculation, wrong calculation. CGST, SGST or UT tax values do not match. So there is a difference of rupees 0.40, that is 40 paise. Here there is a difference of 20 paise. So it is okay. We have no problem with this 20 paise or 40 paise. But here the difference figure is very big. What is the difference? It is 71,010. We cannot tolerate this difference. Now you may check. This voucher contains only CGST. There is no SGST. In this case, you may land up again in serious trouble unless and until you do this exercise. So what we can do here? First of all, I will have to, my sales figure is incorrect. My CGST figure is correct, but SGST figure is incorrect. I am adding SGST to this voucher. The figure is calculated automatically. Enter, 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 and accept. Now you may check. It is automatically removed from accepted as is. Once again, let us go to this view accepted as is. Now this voucher is not present in accepted as is, and it has gone to this particular point. So I hope I have answered the query of participant. Point number 15. Point number 15, zero suspense entries. Whenever you are filing GST return, you must go to your balance sheet. I am going to balance sheet and check the suspense ledger. Are there any suspense entries in Tally? Because many a times suspense entries might be passed. Yes.
Pankaj sir, there is a request to cover point number 14 once again, please.
Point number 14 once again. What was the point number 14? Yes, accepted as is. Okay, no problem. Okay. So this is Tally screen once again, display, then statutory reports, then GST, then GSTR 3B. Inside GSTR 3B, now I will have to commit some mistake to show this point to you. I will have to open any particular voucher, Clarion Drugs Limited. This was the voucher. Now I am committing mistake in this voucher once again. Now the accountant has recorded this transaction incorrectly. CGST, he has ignored CGST. he has ignored SGST, CGST is considered, and he has saved the voucher. As soon as we save this voucher, it will appear in error report. Now this is the error, incomplete or mismatch. This is the erroneous voucher reported by Tally. Now what accountant can do, accountant can press space bar and accountant can accept as is. The voucher is accepted as is. Now this voucher is not reported in error, but now our figure of SGST is wrong. The voucher is included in return. Please remember, this voucher is included in the return, but the return figures are wrong now. Now I am opening this particular, now you may look at this point. Central tax is calculated correctly and state tax amount is blank. It is evident from this screen also, but sometimes it may not be evident to us, or we may overlook it. So it is always better to check accepted as is section in Tally. So this is the error, absolute clear cut error. So what we can do, we can go to this particular point, view accepted as is, and view accepted as is. I am pressing, I am clicking here. Now this 40 paise is okay, difference is 40 paise. This is about rounding of difference, this is also rounding of difference. This is okay, we do not have any problem with this, but this is absolutely a problem. I am opening this voucher and I can see that only CGST is charged. This is absolutely not accepted. We know that SGST should have been charged in this voucher. I am charging the SGST also. Enter, 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 and I am accepting this. Now you may check. This voucher is accepted, already included in the return. Errors are 0. And again, if I go to view accepted as is, it will not show that particular voucher, that Clarion Drugs Limited. This particular voucher, Clarion Organics Limited, this voucher is not present in this particular accepted as is section. Now again, I am going to this report. This is the voucher, Clarion Organics Limited, 71010 and 71010. Now CGST and SGST is correct. If we are doing this exercise, automatically the point we have already discussed will be solved. This SGST, point number 9, SGST in balance sheet and SGST in GSTR 3B. Earlier it was not matching. Why it was not matching? This is the reason. So all the points are interconnected with each other. If we are solving one problem, automatically it is going to solve some other problem also. So by and large, we are requested, we are supposed to follow this process. Amit ji, I hope I have answered the query now.
Yeah, good.
Yes. So zero suspense entry, again it is not relevant with Tally feature. It is not relevant with Tally feature, but it is a point which must be considered. Why it must be considered? Let me show you. Balance sheet, I am going to balance sheet. There is a suspense entry. There is a suspense entry of rupees 56,900. 56,900. This amount is received in bank. Please remember, sometimes it is quite possible that you sell something to your customer, you do not send the bill, and you ask for money. The money is received. It is difficult, I know, but still it is possible. In case of services, it might be possible, because in our case, we chartered accountants, we ask for money to our client, they pay us, and then we generate the bill, because we do not want to pay GST on advance, or we do not want to pay GST on unpaid bills. Both the cases are not comfortable for us. So many a times it is possible that money is received. Your accountant has recorded the transaction in suspense because he doesn't know what is the source of this transaction, and he has recorded it in suspense. This suspense will not appear in your balance sheet, means in your debtor side. If it is appearing in debtor side, it will be very easy for you to identify the amounts not billed, sundry debtors having credit balances. If suspense is cleared, automatically you will get a credit balance in debtor ledger, and again you will be required to create a sales bill against that receipt. So suspense entries must be cleared before you file your GSTR 3B. Point number 16 is again extremely important, and it is relevant from the angle of GSTR1, not from the angle of GSTR3B, because in case of GSTR1, our numbering of invoices must be proper and correct. Tally is a very user-friendly software, very flexible software, and I have seen people committing blunders in numbering the vouchers in Tally. In Tally, what happens? Let me show you something. In Tally, there are two types of numbering system. One is called as manual numbering, other is called as automatic numbering. Let me show you. Let me show you for receipt, because in this company, the sales bills are numbered correctly. These are the numbers for receipt. If I press insert voucher here, what is the number? You may check the number. The number last two digit is 62. In case of automatic numbering of vouchers, your numbering of vouchers can go haywire if you allow to insert voucher, add voucher, or delete a voucher. In case of automatic numbering, all the vouchers will be reset automatically if you insert a voucher in between. So this is very dangerous. So in case of sales voucher, you must have auto manual numbering system in Tally. There is a third system in numbering, the third system for numbering in Tally, that is called as automatic manual voucher. So this is one of the system. Let me show you that system also, which is applied in this particular company. Automatic manual override. This is the system. I have pressed Control Enter to open voucher type alteration screen. Here, this is the automatic as well as manual override system. What does it mean? Numbers will be generated automatically, but you can manually override the numbers. Means even if you insert a voucher, delete a voucher, the voucher number that is generated once will not be altered, will not be changed in any case, and this is required. So what we can do to check voucher numbering system? We can go to this statistics report. Once again, I'm showing display, then statement of accounts, then statistics report, and inside statistics, you can go to your sales voucher. Sales voucher is sales GST. I am opening this. I was talking about December. So in the month of December, there are 28 vouchers, and I should check the numbering 203, 204, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It seems to be okay, but you may check here. After 228, the numbers are working, numbers are going on correctly till 227, but after 227 228 is there, and after 228 it is 231A, and then the number is 277. So what is this numbering system? Before you file your GSTR 3B, before you file your GSTR 1, this is the point that you should check numbering system, because in case of Tally, it is utmost necessary. In case of automatic numbering in Tally, your numbering may get disturbed. So numbering system must be checked. Please remember whether our numbers are generated correctly by Tally. And the last point, that is 17 point, reconcile ITC with 2A. Due to shortage of time and due to some technical problem today on GST website, I could not download JSON file containing information regarding 2A, but I will get it downloaded by tomorrow end, and I am having another session on 18th. So I will try to show it to you on 18th. So these were the 17 points, 17-point checklist from my side. I hope I have added something new to your knowledge kitty. Again, I told you yesterday that I am going to attend each and every query. I am reiterating the same point again. I am showing my mobile number and email to you. I got few emails yesterday, 4 emails. I could not find time to reply these 4 emails, but definitely I will send you the reply tomorrow. By tomorrow day end, I will send you the reply. Don't worry. Those who have raised the query, if you are listening to me, so rest assured, some query was about creating a ledger, creating ledgers in Tally, and how Tejal, it was by Tejal, CA Tejal. How I would come to know about the extra ledger or new ledger created by user accountant and how I can track. I am writing a reply to your email and you will be able to know what is the answer. Yes, it is possible in Tally, no problem. So Amitji, I am ending my session here. If there are any queries, I am ready to answer. I am still available for 1 more hour. And now I am handing over the session to Jiten Bhai. Thank you very much.
Sir,
Yes.
Sir, Pankaj, by 5 minutes. First, one
Yes.
query was how to record fixed asset, GST, ITC on fixed assets. Second was RCM and GST TDS. These three queries, if you can highlight a bit on it.
Fixed asset TDS, RCM is the second query. Then third query, I know which might be there, import transactions and GST.
Export.
Fourth,
Yeah.
Fourth query might be about GST on advance.
Yeah, export.
GST on advance, again, it is a very big matter.
If you can highlight.
Very quickly, I will highlight, and if you want to know it in detail, just send me the email. I will reply you in detail also. Let me show you something quickly. The first query was GST on fixed assets. Let me change the company now. At the time of purchasing a fixed asset, you can record the purchase of fixed asset in two vouchers. The first voucher is purchase voucher, second voucher is journal voucher. There is a problem with journal voucher. Normally, so far we were recording this voucher in journal. But Tally now has suggested to record this voucher in purchase voucher. Why purchase? Because normally we feel that purchase voucher is meant for recording of trading purchases only. But Tally has suggested to use purchase voucher for purchase of fixed assets also. Why? Because in case of journal voucher, GST is not calculated automatically. So even if there is any problem in settings, you may not come to know at the time of recording the voucher. So it is better to use purchase voucher for recording of purchase of fixed assets also. I am going to accounting vouchers. I am pressing F9. Party name. Let us create supplier 1 under sundry creditors. Now I have to write some GST number here, because unless and until I write GST number, it will not calculate the GST. GST number is calculated. Purchase ledger, it is not about purchase ledger. I am pressing F12. Use common ledger should be no. This is the question. Use common ledger account for item allocation. It should be no. I am pressing enter. Now name of the item. Do you want to record inventory of purchases? If yes, still you can record. If you want to ignore, you can ignore. Now here I need to create a ledger. I am pressing Alt C. Furniture under fixed assets. Inventory values affected. For the time being, let it be yes. GST applicable, yes. Let us set the GST rate as 18%. Goods, enter and accept. Let us say furniture for rupees 1 lakh. Ignore this screen. CGST and SGST. Furniture. Now let us check where this furniture has gone. Furniture has gone to fixed assets correctly. It is inside fixed asset. The GST input, loans, sorry, current liabilities, duties and taxes. Let us go to this GST. This is supplier 1. The GST input is also gone to correct ledger. Now let us check display and 3B. Eligible ITC. This is ITC. Now I know you may ask me a question that whether full ITC is allowed. Amit ji, what do you say? Whether the full ITC of fixed asset is allowed in the same month?
Sir, you have to comment.
Okay, no problem. There is some treatment. This is a law aspect. So by default, what is the feature in Tally? Let me explain. Actually, I am overshooting my time. It is 7:15. So just let me know, should I go ahead or should I stop?
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
can answer. Huh?
Go ahead.
You
Go
can
ahead.
continue. Pankaj sir, continue.
Jitin bhai needs
I'm-
only 30 minutes.
Pankaj bhai, continue.
Okay. No problem. I am going to accounting vouchers. I am pressing F12. Many a times it may happen that at the time of recording purchase voucher for fixed asset, you may not get the ledger for fixed assets. In case you are finding this problem, what you can do, you can, let me show you. I'm pressing F12 now. Press F12 for more options. This is the option available only if you are recording it with inventory. Name of the item. Please remember, let me show you. Name of the item. This is the name of the item. If I press Alter I, now it is particulars, and in case of particulars, no inventory is appearing here. Furniture, I can get furniture here. Now, once again, I am going to accounting vouchers. I am pressing Alter I. Now I am getting name of item. Now I am pressing F12. There is an option here. Press F12 for more option. I am pressing F12 once again. Inside F12, there is an option here. Allow expenses or fixed assets for accounting allocations. If you want to record along with inventory, you should make it yes. I am making it yes. Enter. Now let us go to supplier 1. Name of item, I am typing. I am creating chairs. Number, yes. 18%. Quantity 100. Rate, let us say 1000. Particulars, now this furniture option is available for us. I can record the furniture here. Rate is 18% only. Enter. Now CGST and SGST. This voucher is complete. Once again, let me show you something. Now I am pressing F12. I am pressing F12 again and I am setting it to no. Let us check. Now once again I am selecting chairs, quantity 100, rate 1000. Now look at this right hand side panel, list of ledger accounts. You are not getting furniture ledger here. So this is a peculiar setting. Many of the users do not know this setting, that in case of purchase you can set this option, that is expenses or fixed assets can be added to purchase voucher by setting it to yes. So now it is not available. Once again, I am pressing F12. I am once again pressing F12. Allow expenses or fixed assets for accounting allocation. I am setting it to yes. Control A. Enter, 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 enter. Now once again, let me check. Spacebar. Furniture is available now. I am selecting furniture. Enter and accept. So Amit ji, I hope I have answered the query.
Yeah, correct. You have answered.
Yes. So are there any other queries or should we move to Jitin bhai?
RCM and TDS.
RCM and TDS, actually these two items will take more time. So I would suggest not to cover it today, but ultimately if we have to cover it, we will cover it in my next session on 18th, because I can cut down the period for other topic that is not a very big topic. Interest calculation, it can be completed quickly in 30 minutes. We can consider these two topics in that session on 18th. It is my suggestion. Amit sir.
पंकज भाई बोले.
हाँ यस, मेरा कहना यह था कि 18 का जो मेरा सेशन है उसमें हम ये चीजें कवर कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि मुझे मालूम है जीएसटी और एडवांस ये अलग से एक बहुत बड़ा विषय है, और एडवांस का अकाउंटिंग कैसे करना, ये उसके बाद आरसीएम का अकाउंटिंग, उसके बाद इंपोर्ट्स का अकाउंटिंग, ये सारे जो विषय है ना, ये कॉमन विषय है और इसमें बहुत सारा टाइम जा सकता है। तो अभी उसको लेना थोड़ा मुश्किल है, तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि हम 18 को कर सकते हैं, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं।
ठीक है, नो प्रॉब्लम। आई विल इन्फॉर्म द क्वेश्चन आस्क्ड अस।
यस। So it is over from my side now.
जितिन भाई,
हाँ, कैन यू गिव मी द शेयर स्क्रीन करने के लिए?
पंकज भाई तुम तो स्क्रीन शेयर बंद कर।
हाँ,
मिश्रा जी को बोलना पड़ेगा शायद।
आपका वीडियो बंद कर दीजिए।
हाँ, हो गया।
आ गया मेरा स्क्रीन? Yeah. Okay. Good evening, friends. I think you have enjoyed this GST session of Pankaj Bhai. And whatever related to TDS or GST, if anything is remaining, we'll try to deliver on 18th. So I will just start with my TDS that I had missed out yesterday. First thing in TDS is I've shown you yesterday is F11. You have to just activate in F11. Statutory taxation. And yes, this first thing you have to do. Now, like in TDS also, many people they open only one TDS account. Only one TDS account. TDS payable that I've made a group like a subgroup. TDS, and here I don't select any ledger account here. Any fees for professional or commission broker anything. I just say any. This TDS includes each and everything. Fees for previously what we used to file different challans for different sections and company non. Now if we can file one challan also, so we can just say TDS, say any, and you can just save this. Now I'll just show you one entry. अमित आवाज आ रहा है बराबर?
जा रहा है।
Yeah. Now 1st January brokerage account 25,000. See, now this brokerage you already set as a brokerage. Kumar Asgarwala you have set as a broker. So already you have set here TDS applicability yes. Here also you have set already TDS applicability yes. So here after this, if you don't open separate account, you can just select TDS account. It's a general. No need for TDS on brokerage, TDS on contractors, TDS on income. Generally in routine, maximum people they open different accounts. But if you want only one account for TDS, you can open only one account. Now, when you go to return, तो पंकज भाई का देखिए मैं भी जीएसटी में चले गया. Now here, Kumar Asgarwala. Now here, one more thing is given. Party wise details are there. Now on F4, if you click on F4, it is category wise. So I'm clicking on category wise. You get this commission brokerage, fees or professional interest. Now if I see in commission brokerage, Kumar Asgarwala. So this previous entry last day, yesterday we had done Kumar Asgarwala to TDS on brokerage. Now this entry today I have done is in brokerage and TDS. See, it is in that section only normal deduction, but the ledger is TDS instead of TDS on brokerage. So this way you can open this account. Now one more thing. People ask if they forget this, I open one account as warehouse rent, indirect expenses, all that. So here I have written it as undefined. I have not said applicable. Yes, my staff forgot to say it is yes. And this GRT office spaces also TDS was deductible, but here also you said no. So what will happen? It will not deduct tax, but this is wrong. So when in audit, if you want to know, you can't check each and every entry, thousands of entries, lakhs of entries are there. So what Tally gives is in display statutory reports, TDS reports, 26Q. All this I will show you 1st October to 31st December. There is one uncertain transaction. Now, Pankaj sir has shown you all this included transaction, excluded transaction. Like you do for GST, you have to do for TDS also. So if you check each and every transaction, it will be easier for you for audit as well as for compliances. Now, uncertain transactions. See, they are unable to determine TDS applicable. There are so many things Tally has given. It will depend what mistake you done. According to that mistake, it will show under that head. Now here master related exceptions, expenses purchase, then pay party master, then duty master, nature of payment, transaction related exceptions. If error is in masters, it will show here. If error is related to transaction, it will show here. I will just click on this. I will see this warehouse rent is there. I will just control enter. You can use the shortcut key, control enter. I'll just say control enter and I will see that there TDS applicable is not defined. I will just say spacebar. I will say applicable. See, if you space, whenever you don't know what to do now, you just press spacebar. In spacebar, you will get that box. What is there in that box? You just say applicable, and you can select what you want, whether it is rent or something like that, or you can say any also. So this is warehouse rent. I am selecting rent of land, building, or furniture. Once I save this, if you will see there, that error has gone from here. Expenses purchase master. Now this error has gone to the party master because party also we had said no. So when I go to party master, I say enter. It will show GRT office spaces, deductive type unknown. So Tally will give you all these exceptions. It is under uncertain transactions. I will just say yes. I'll go to TDS deductible. I will say yes. Party, whether it is individual, HUF, resident, whatever you want, you can select this. If it is individual, you select individual. Deduct TDS in same voucher, you say yes. And you can select here rent for land and building. So once you select this, now no link is booking and booking with deduction voucher. Now it has gone to transaction level. So when I say transaction level, that means this transaction there was wrong. I'll just say your cost center classes are there. That will be, I think, taught tomorrow or day after. You can select the cost center classes, go down and all that. 50,000 rent. In this only. Now, when you go to alteration, it will not say. Suppose I say space, and again I say it will not do that. So in some cases in alteration it is not possible. So once I select warehouse there, I have to see that 50,000 entry. In that entry, you have to pass that entry. Or automatically it will also come. There are also ways where we can do automatically. Once you do this, because in some cases in alteration it won't allow. So what you can do is you can just delete this entry or you can cancel this entry and rewrite that entry. Or there are other ways out also. It depends how you are accounting. I will just say December 18, 5,000 debit, and here TDS on rent. So now this TDS is not been deducted previously. So now today, if I come to know, I will have to pay this TDS along with interest. Like in GST also, if you have not deducted GST, like Pankaj sir told you that CGST, SGST was not there. So when you change that ledger, then you have to inform the party if you are doing as a CA, or the party has to pay this along with interest before filing the return, or then after filing the return, then you have to pay that and again revise that particular quarterly return. So this is how you can do these entries. Now I'll just show you form 26Q. It is showing balance payable 6250. I'll show you these first two entries. What are these entries are there? What are the entries? For 6250. Okay. The TDS ledger, if you see, I have passed this two entry 1250 and 5,000 rupees. So this TDS is payable. It is showing me a 6250 as payable because these two entries I have passed, one entry 1250, other is for professional fees. This also I have passed in TDS. So now what I will do on 31st March, I'll pass that entry of payment, SDFC bank payment. And I will have to see many people I have seen they type only in payment, TDS payments under payment. If you select stat payment, everything will be properly reflected in the returns. So you have to select statutory payment for GST, TDS, everything, and just select TDS. You just say first, hello, 1st January, 31st March, then 31st March, then one by one, commission brokerage or professional fees, you can select one by one also for passing the entries, or you can say all items. Once I say all items, here nature of payment, all items, deductive status, all items, residential status also. If you say resident, if you say resident. So now if you see, all these entries has been passed here. Okay. Now again, if I go to display statutory report, TDS report, see, it is showing this entry as negative. So there was one more entry, office spaces, that I have done. Actually, it is applicable for December. So this entry I should have passed in December and not in March. So this error also it will show. I'll just delete this entry for just our purpose right now. And this, once we have paid this entry, when you file the return 26Q, you save the return. Once you save the return, you have to just go to this return transaction book. And in return transaction book, you will see this 26Q. And from here, you can file this e-return. Once you file this e-return, it will go to tally txt file. If you want to change something, you can just say no, 31st March. What is the date? Suppose 31st March, you are filing on 31st May. Change in address, responsible person, change in address, name of on pen ID. Now, if you want ledger name, you write ledger name or name on pen. If it is individual, you can just select that. If a company is there, you say ledger name. Partnership firm is there, you say ledger name. In case of professional or proprietary concern, you can say name on pen. I will just select their ledger name. And is regular return yes? Yes. Then you write this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And once you save this, it will go to that. I'll just write here Q4. You can write whatever you want. Is the file name. Suppose generally I am writing Q4. Once I show this, see here, this file will be generated. TXT file will be generated in my Tally drive. You can give the path in that. So once you select this file, TXT file, along with your CSI file that you have downloaded challan file from the website, you can validate that Q4 file and then you can upload the return online. Nowadays, many people, they are uploading the return online only, or you can just send it to NSDL. Now, as the lockdown is there, NSDL service provider, they also provided contact numbers and other things. So you send them the FQ file and they will file on behalf of you. Once you make the payment to them, they will file on behalf of you. That facility is provided by many service providers nowadays. But if you have registered your client, you can file the online. So this is how you file the TDS return. Now, few entries are remaining. One is for fixed asset. Suppose you are passing for TDS for fixed asset. TDS for fixed asset is, I will just show you. On 1st March, this is a party, capital traders, Sunday credit over expenses. And this is, I'm making one machinery. These are the installation charges. I want to show it under fixed asset. Control work in progress, machinery under fixed assets. It is under fixed assets. When we make one boiler or something like that or installation charges, you can just say 50,000, IGST 18%, and TDS on contractor 1,000 for machinery installation at factory. So this amount will go to fixed asset in capital work in progress. This will be transferred to machinery. But on fixed asset also, you can deduct fixed asset related expenses like installation expenses, or suppose you are spending some labor charges for making some boiler or something in your factory. You can just select this under capital work in progress, under fixed assets. You have to say here yes, and you are paying to the contractors. Suppose you are paying to contractors, if you are paying to professionals, whatever it is, you can select that category, and accordingly you can save this, and this will affect directly capital traders, capital work in progress will go to your fixed assets schedule, right? So this is how you pass this. Now I will show you one TDS on advances. Second March, I said one enterprise 1 lakh rupees. This is an advance, so directly it is in payment, and this party already I have created under Sunday credit over expenses. I know it is individual HUF. I say yes. Interest other than interest on securities or whatever ledger you want to select, you can just select depending on that party. If you don't know at that time, you can just say any, whenever in future. But generally, when you are paying advance, you should know whether the party is a individual or HUF or partnership firm. Just say advance, TDS on professional, whatever head you want to select, you can select here. Advance for Tally ERP9 setup. This way you can pass the entry for advance. Now suppose I was to pass again ICICI payment, Dhwani Enterprise. ICICI payment, Dhwani Enterprise, 50,000. It is again advance. I can say advance or new reference, whatever you want. It is advance to TDS. Madham is directed. When I will receive the bill of 1,50,000, it will be adjusted against Dhwani Enterprise Party. And suppose I receive bill of 2 lakh rupees, so when I again make payment for balance 50,000, again the TDS will be deducted. So this is how you do for the advances. Now, remaining. So this is I will be showing you in banking. When I do banking on 18th, I will show you all these things, payment advice and check details and all that. Now, there is one party called GR print. One party called GR print. 1 minute, I will just show you. Now this party amount is 15,000. I have booked in purchase. Now as Pankaj sir said that we generally now book nowadays everything in purchase and sales only, because in GST the term is used is purchase of services, sales of services. So we can pass all the expense entry also through purchase. Till date we were doing everything in journal, but now as per this, if you do each and every entry through purchase and sales, and the GST reports and all that things or TDS reports will be perfect. You can pass through purchase, Maharashtra, India, all that address, printing and stationery, 15,000 rupees. No TDS is deducted. See, if I say ignore exemption limit, yes, if I set up at the starting, then it will deduct on 15,000. But I have said don't ignore. When it crosses for 30,000 limit or whatever is the limit, then only you deduct tax. So I will just say this is the one entry that already done in purchase. Now I pass one more entry. Hello. Hello. Amit sir, सुनाई दे रहा है ना? Hello.
Yeah, सुनाई दे रहा है. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Now GR prints. See, now this is alphabetically arranged. Now in Tally, suppose I say print, PRINT, then also it will come. So it's nothing like you have to type G. You can write print also, whatever it is. So it will select this GR print. Printing is stationery. 1 lakh rupees. Or suppose I say 2 lakh rupees. Payment to contractor. Now it is purchase taxable. Now the GST that sir told classification nature, all these are classification nature as per GST. That if is it ineligible for input credit, you can say yes, then it will be ineligible for input credit. Suppose food expense, all that thing, directly from here only it will be ineligible. You can change the rates here, like Pankaj sir has told you. It is applicable for GST. Now in your case, TDS 2 lakh, then CGST. Suppose I say 6%, or I select 9%. SGST 9%. TDS will be deducted 2,000 rupees in this. Right? It is deducted on 2 lakh rupees. It is not deducting on 2 lakh 15. It is deducting only on 2 lakhs. Now, if I say yes, what tally will give this? TDS is not deducted for the previous bills for GR print Vasai. Do you want to deduct now? This message will appear only once when the exemption limit is crossed. The first time when the exemption limit will cross, till that date, whatever bills are there, April, May, June, July, August, September, November, December, all that amount was total amount was below taxable limit. Now it has crossed taxable limit, it will deduct at 2,000 rupees. But once you say yes here, you just write the period 31st January is the date. You say 31st January. You select that party. You will see here GR print is there, labor charges is there, RM method is VSL. I will just select GR by nature of payment, duty ledger TDS on contractors. See this tally will automatically pass this entry. And you can select that part 17,700, whichever bill was there at that time. And this will be paid along with the January payment that you have made. So this is the, suppose you are passing this entry on 31st January. That way you can pass this entry and you can save this entry. So this is how you pass printing assisted entry. Now suppose I have not done that. What will happen? Now it will not ask the question. So once it has already passed that entry, it will not ask that. Next entry also suppose I have to do again printing a stationery. GR prints. TDS 500 rupees. Now if I say yes, this will be saved. So now next time when I do that entry, it will not ask that message. It has already deducted on 70,000. So this is how you do for many people. CA also tell that if for safe side you start deducting from first rupee. But if the limit exemption is more 75,000, 1 lakh, whatever it is, then it is advisable if you say no. In tally, it will automatically catch up when you are paying the next. So this is how you pass for the GR print where the exemption limit is crossed. Now I will show you one more. Now there is one concept called, see on stock item also. Stock item I have said, I have shown you in the starting when we have said yes, TDS for stock item also. Now in this case, 1st March 19, the Sri Lakshmi printers is my creditor. Okay. Contractor. I have just given it their number and all that here. See, I'm telling you again, all these details, if you give your contact person name, phone number, mobile number, fax number, email, once, then all this will be stored in Tally. So whenever you want to contact someone, you need not go for the mobile or you cannot wait. Sir के पास number है, मेरे पास नहीं है. अगर आपने ये सब detail डाल दिया है, it will be easier for you in future. So I will just say. Now one more thing in Tally. Suppose there is some error in this typing. So there is Alt M facility. Party list is there. If you select on party list, I say Sri Krupa. Address will change. Again, I will say Sri Lakshmi printers. Again, the address will change. So sometimes what happen, our GST number or something is wrong. Then we change that. When the bill is already passed, if you want to change by party list, you can change the suppliers detail. You just select any other ledger, then again go to that ledger. Automatically it will be pick up that ledger. Now these labels I have opened under items. See, these labels I get it done from a contractor, which I am keeping stock of that labels also. So if I'm keeping stock of that labels, but I want to deduct tax on that 1,25,000 that they have charged for my, that contractor charge me. So what I will do, these labels will be there, pieces, FIFO, average price. Accordingly, you have created these labels in the item. Whether it is in primary go down or job worker go down or B1D go down, you can select that go down. If it is for some project, you can select from the project also. So I will just selecting for primary go down, 50,000 pieces, 2.50 paise per label, 1,25,000. So these labels will go into stock. Now actually this is printing charges that they have done on label. So it is a contractor printing charges, CGST 9%. Here I will select as printing charges, particulars. It will go here, CGST, SGST, because 99%. Someone will say label में कम है 12% है, but this is a labor charges there. So labor charges में 18%, suppose it is there. It will say TDS on contractor. It will deduct 1250. So stock item also you can create where stock item related things, if you want to keep in stock and you want to give him 1 lakh, directly what people do, they say 1,25,000 less, they book the bill and directly make the payment, deduct the TDS. But then the stock is not booked. So many companies nowadays, they are keeping stock of all these items, like boxes are there. Suppose boxes पे सब label किया हुआ है. So whatever is item are there, if you want to keep it in stock, you can, being labels printed for shirts. So then they keep control how many labels are issued to the job worker or our factory worker who is doing that. So this is how you pass this. So this is in TDS. Now last two things are remaining. Here also job working out, job work out also you can do. Just show you the statutory reports, TDS reports. See now here, once you file the ETDS return, it will show here, once you file that there is no error, it will show it is filed and it will show as modified no. But after filing the return, if someone changes the entry in that last quarter or someone do some, say now I did some addition in that last quarter, it is showing me as modified yes. That means after my filing the return, Tally comes to know that you have entered something in the last quarter. So it will change it to yes. That means there is something mistake is there. After filing my return as a CA, my client has passed some entry in the last quarter. This quarter also he has passed one entry. So this is wrong. So again, you can directly catch all of them that what entries you have passed. That means some TDS is remaining to be paid. You pay the TDS with the interest, and then again I will file the revised return. So this is also a control given by Tally. Once the return is filed and saved, and if entry is done in the previous quarter or whichever quarter, first quarter, second quarter, it will show that after filing your return, this return has been, entries has been modified. So please check and do the revision. So again, we can file the revised return. Now, sell and reconciliation, I've already shown you. You have to do the sell and reconciliation. TDS outstanding. See, 5,000 and 2,500 are pending. The 7,500 is pending. So every quarter, you have to see that whether that some TDS has been paid or not. This should be zero. Like Pankaj sir has given you some 17 points. Na? In TDS also, there are points which you have to check first, then only file the TDS return. Now, there are few ledgers without pen. This is also a track which you can keep. I take a pen number ही नहीं है. You can just ask for the pen number of that party. Otherwise, deduction will be at the rate of 20%. Okay. So this is all for resident. Now only two entries for non-resident I will show you, and then 27Q. For non-resident we file 27Q. Sir has included transaction, booking voucher, override by user. You are asking override So there is some error. If you want to override, you can just say override. You can select this excluded transaction, credit note, ICICI payment, but not for this return. Deduction at normal rate. Now this James Raymond is an NRI. He has the pen, and VAR Services Inc. doesn't have a pen. James Raymond has a pen number. He is an NRI, UK. You have to select there. Huh? You have to give proper address of that party, United Kingdom. You can select the countries here. Huh? There are so many countries given. Sorry. You can select. So if sometimes you have time, you can just see how many countries are there. If you have free time, you can just see how many countries are there. I just say United Kingdom. You can create your own country also. Office send 1 lakh rupees. Other sums payable to a non-resident. You have to select what you want. Or from, I already selected this. Other sums payable to non-resident 1 lakh rupees. Imports taxable. See this office rent. Suppose you open under purchase taxable, and when there is imports taxable, you have to write in classification nature. You have to change that nature. Many people they open 2, 2, 3, 3 accounts also. Office rent, import, office rent, local, and all that. It depends. And this is for the party which is outside. 1 lakh rupees. TDS on rent 30,900. 30% plus. This is for 18-19. So SAS is 3%. Otherwise it is 4%. 30,900 is the TDS. I have paid this TDS. Now this fees for technical. Now this VAR Services Inc. is the party company. In currency is in dollar. I have taken currency as dollar. Here I say not applicable. Company non-resident. Fees for technical and professional services. USA. Party is from USA. Technical fees NRI. Now when you have multi-currency, you can just say dollar 2000. You press shift and dollar and say 2000. Dollar 2000 at the rate of 75. Suppose I'm taking as 75 rupees. 1,50,000. Fees for technical payable to non-residents. And TDS on professional fees 15,000. See, in this case of NRI, if you are taking DTAA rate, then only tax is deducted. In many cases, people are deducting cess also and surcharge also. It depends on DTAA agreement. It depends on expert advice. There are many ITR you can see. So I have deducted only 15,000 and entry done. So now when I go to 27Q, and I can just see if there is some problem, it will show in the error transaction overridden by party. So this error has to be cleared. Then only you can file the return 27Q. Then you have to say save. It will be saved. See, it will be saving. There are still unsolved exceptions for the period. The tax values may not be correct. If all exceptions are not solved, do you want the if any error is there, Tally will give you this type of message. That means you are doing some mistake is there, and you resolve that mistake. Then only you file your 27Q return. And in similar to 26Q, you can file your 27Q also. Return can be filed. So this is all from my side for TDS. If any questions are there, it is almost 7:15. Few questions are there for TDS. अमित सर कुछ क्वेश्चंस है TDS या GST या जो भी है.
Yeah. I'll just read out the question.
Any questions are there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it possible to cover TCS in case of sale of goods, which is applicable from this financial year?
Yeah. TCS, if you want, I can take TCS lecture along with banking when I'm taking. I already made that. I will take definitely on 18th when I'm taking banking lecture. Today, if you want, I don't know. It is already 8 o'clock. Yeah. Yes.
Jiten, some participants were asking that if tally is not activated but they want to still check, how would they check whether the expenses TDS is booked or not? Or what is the amount? What you have shown is how to activate TDS and the returns. Fantastic. But in case they have not activated, like a lot of people are coming from 7.2 migrating it and earlier version, so they might not have activated. But as an auditor, if they have to, how would they check? Any ideas, sir?
For what? TDS not deducted?
Not activated.
TDS, whether they deducted correctly or not deducted.
That I already showed, na? TDS not deducted entries.
Yeah, but that you showed it for TDS activation, na?
Yeah, TDS activation was not there for all the parties. I can't hear you.
Jiten bhai.
Yeah.
May I answer this question?
Yeah.
Please.
Bole, sir.
Yes. His question is that I'm repeating the question. His question is that if the client is not using the updated tally, he might be using 7.2 or something old version of software.
Yeah, okay.
So how we can check whether there are any mistake in TDS accounting? Is it the question?
Yeah, very much.
Yes. So in that case, our my suggestion is that you should guide your client to update the software, because unless and until he updates the software, we can't use tally features for TDS accounting, because all these features are available in updated software only. And unless and until the client is using updated software in the proper way, not only updated software, it should be used in the proper way, because many a times it happens that people use the latest version of tally 6.6, but they do not start TDS feature. They just record all the entries as usual, as they were recording in 4.5 version only. So it is our job to educate the client and get it done. Either you can do it on your own, you can charge separate fees for this, or you can hire somebody to get it done. This is my suggestion.
Yeah, generally you should go for upgraded software only. I have seen many CS, they also don't upgrade. And they insist their client also should not upgrade, because if they have 6.1, they will also keep 6.1. So it is advisable to upgrade, then only you can use all this. Tele has so many features. Now what we'll be covering in these 10 days, you will understand that there are so many features available for MIS reports, for making some management related reports. There are so many reports available. If you are upgraded software, now this one more thing, 80% discount scheme for practicing CA has been extended to 14th August yesterday. Again, it has been extended one more month up to 14th August, I think. 14th August तक extend किया है, which they are giving to a practicing CA at 80% discount. So I think everyone should, people buy the software, then do they don't do TSS renewal also. If you do the TSS renewal, it is really advisable. There are so many features are there in Tele nowadays. And almost in payroll also you will see, in TDS, in GST, job work report, all type of reports are directly available from Tele. So in GST 2A also, sir will show on 18 how you can do automatically also and how you can do manually also. Like bank reco will be showing as you can do manually as well as automatically. So I think there. Yeah, I think Puneet sir, और कोई question है? Amit sir?
I think fantastic, sir.
Yeah, TCS you want to cover basic thing today, 5-10 minutes I can cover basic thing, then whatever base remaining I will cover on 18. Is it okay, 5-10 minutes?
Yeah, please go ahead. At least the activation part you can show. The written part you can show it at later point of time. Activation and basic entry, if possible.
Yeah, 1 minute. मैं जनरली रिवर्स में जा रहा हूँ, क्या ठीक गिरता है टाइम सेव करने के लिए. See now, in sales. Now TCS first I will show you activation part, how to activate TCS. In F11, security taxation, TCS yes, state audited TCS details. This number is there, firm, then collector branch, ignore IT, provide such as, all these things you have to write in F11 as a TCS collector. And you have to save this. See, this is the main screen for security taxation. What you want to enable, you can just enable. They have still kept VAT and excise and service tax because it was there previously. So all the companies that are continuing, second FBT is also there, LBT is there. Company identification number you can write here. This is how you can activate TCS. Then I will show you TCS related reports and how we pass the entries. This is 27 EQ. There also this uncertain transactions will not be there. Everywhere you have to see. This is a triangulation report given by Tally. Beautiful report given by Tally. Any mistake is there, it will come out. This collection normal rate. This is one party, BV Waste Management. This party under this data, I have created subgroup as a data. Now TCS applicable, you say TCS applicable, yes. If you say TCS applicable, yes, here, individual HU, use advanced configure TCS. So here if you want ignore exemption limit and all that thing you can set up. You say no. BU Waste Management Company. Now this is the item, scrap item. Now this scrap item I already have. When I think sir showed that yesterday, when you produce something by bill of material, Punish sir only showed that. You can just write on the right hand side what is the byproduct, what is the co-product, and what is the scrap. Once you have scrap in that BOM, the scrap accumulated will be under meters or whatever it is. If it is cloth, it will be in meter. जैसे हम लोग चिंदी बोलते हैं वो collect करके they sell that. Now scrap 20,000 meters at 2 rupees per meter, 40,000. And this sale of scrap, I will like a sale of scrap, sales account. Inventory values are affected, yes. If GST is applicable, use yes. TCS applicable, yes. And then you can say scrap. Or if you want new category, you can go to new category. You can see details, or you can see helper. You will get all these categories here. If you have latest software, you will get whatever is added every year. You will get sell in cash of any goods other than bullion and jewelry. All this alcoholic, any other bullion, contractor licensee, jewelry, minerals, providing of any service other than chapter 17B. So all these sections 6C, A, C, D, CK, CH, you can just select. In my case, it is scrap. So I have selected scrap. It can be tendo leaves, it can be timber. You just select that category. I have created one because I am dealing only in scrap. There are no other categories in. So once I do this scrap, sale of scrap, TGST, SGST, if it is there, then TCS on scrap, 1%. This ledger account I open, TCS on scrap, under TCS payable, TCS nature of goods. Again here, TCS on scrap, if you want separate rate as a, you can open there, or you can open only one TCS account and you can say any, or you can open TCS on scrap 1% or whatever percentage is there, and you can select that category. It says scrap. This is how you pass the entry for sale of scrap. So now once it is done, you can save this return. You want to save the return? You say yes. You can go to return transaction book. This return, see, it is not modified. It is saying here no. So once you modify it, now challan reconciliation, I have not yet made the payment, so it is not showing me here anything. Once I make the challan reconciliation, challan payment, now TC is outstanding. It is showing me 400 rupees is payable. Once I pay this 400 rupees, it will go to challan reconciliation. Once I do entry for challan reconciliation, it will allow me to file that e-return. So this is how we can do scrap also in Tally. And generally, what we do in duties and taxes, I keep in this TDS payable, TCS payable, GST payable. And one thing, many people CGST, they are doing CGST 9%, 18%, 9%. Maximum people are doing that way only. What I suggest is at the month end, you should transfer that ledger account to GST payable account. I have not opened here, but generally what I do, I transfer this GST payable in the month. Suppose it is in the month. Suppose month wise is there. So whenever month wise is there, at the end of the month, you have to transfer that amount to a GST payable account or TDS payable account or whatever a payable account. So once it is gone to GST payable control account, you can pay directly from GST payable control account, not from here. Many people, they do payment in this account only. But what I do, I transfer all my sales to GST payable, all my input rate to GST payable, and from that GST payable, I pay the payment. So if any entry is changed afterwards, there are other ways also in Tally. There are very advanced level things are available in Tally, which if possible we'll show afterwards, where you can track what changes they have made. What this customer or client has made. Once an internal audit is done for 3 months as a CA, if they had done change a single entry also, you will come to know in the separate report. That also I think we will be covering in the future. So this is how I pass this control entry. I hope TCS people have understood all this ledger. If you update to the latest version, see I have updated to 6.6.2. Now 6.6.3 is available. You can just upgrade to it, and you will get all the things which Tally has already given. You can change the rates also on your own, because nowadays they keep on changing rates in between. So you can change the rates on your own. That also facility is given by Tally. I hope Punit bhai, I have covered for TCS.
Yes, yes, fantastic, superb, sir. Amit bhai, winner bhai, Siddharth bhai, if you could just come in.
Shweta madam?
I think today I will not extend for the yesterday there was really sorry. Yesterday there was some issue here, so people had to wait for 8:30. So now today I think everything is covered as per, and I think Pankaj bhai took GST very well. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, Swechha madam.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Right. Jitin, you can stop sharing your screen.
Yeah, I will stop sharing my screen. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so thank you so much. It was really wonderful session. So moving further, I would request to winner, please proceed for formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, Shweta ma'am. Good evening, everyone. I am honored and lucky to have the opportunity to give a vote of thanks on this fourth day of Tele Summit 2020. I like the speech of speakers CA Pankaj Deshpandeji, CA Jiten Mehtaji, where they briefed the GST return from Tele, 17-point checklist for filing of GST returns, TDS entries and return filing in Tele in the seminar today. And the way in which they expand on this subject was extraordinary. I would like to thank all the speakers and the organizer, CA Amit Veshapanji and CA Puneet Mehtaji, along with and all the 400 plus participants of this webinar today. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe from Corona, please. Over to you, Shweta madam.
Thank you.
Thank you. So can we close it for today?
Yeah.
Yes.
We can continue.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pankaj bhai.
चलिए बाय.
Thank you. Bye.
बाय.
Hmm?
Anyway, you can close your camera.
We can-